Welcome to this video where we're going to be covering bag 2 step 4. What we're going to be doing in this video is we're going to be assembling the servo mount brace, and then we're going to be fitting that to the servo along with the steering link. Now in each step of this we've got aluminium screws going into aluminium components, so you should use thread lock. I will do that later on off camera. But again, I don't want to make a fool of myself getting thread lock all over the place. So to start off with, we're going to assemble the servo mount. So we've got the servo mount brace, which is a plastic component made out of the same material as the steering links. That goes onto these rather nice aluminium servo mount blocks. And there's a pin at the top of them, which you can just sort of see, and there's a little hole underneath, so make sure the pin goes into the hole, and then we're using M3x6 button head screws. So put those in and then knit those up. Again, don't want to do those too tight because you're going into threaded aluminium, but do make sure you use some thread lock on there. Other side, exactly the same, hold it in place. M3x6 button head screw. Again, because it's going into threaded aluminium, that'll go in really easily, but don't be tempted to over tighten it, and do make sure you use thread lock. So that's your servo mounts completed. They are then going to go over the top of your servo so that the servo mounts are behind the mounts on your servo, so like so. The kit does include servo spacers. Apparently they're not needed for most servos, so I'm going to build without the servo mount spacers, but just be aware, depending on which servo you're using, you may need to add those. And we've got these M3x6, these are cap head screws, and they're going to hold the servo in place, and there are 4 of those. Guessing some people racing stock class might want to omit a couple to save weight, but I'm going to make sure I put all 4 in. And again, because these screws are going into threaded aluminium, you should use thread lock when installing these, and I'm going to go back and add it later on. Okay, so that in there, and it threads in really easily. So when all 4 are in, I'm just going to fit the steering link onto the ball joint, and that is this step completed. There we go, so just nip them, not too tight, make sure you've got thread lock on. There we go, and then just fitting the ball joint on. It's quite a tight fit, so I'm just going to use a pair of pliers. Demonstrating nicely how not to do that. There we go, nice positive pop, and the steering link moves freely. That completes this step. Please watch the next video. See you then.